Hello and welcome back to our kitchen. Today we're going to make a delicious red pozole. This is one of our favorite traditional dishes, and we make large batches to freeze so we can enjoy it over the course of many meals. The first step is to prepare the stock for the stew. In a large pot, add 6 quarts of water, half an onion, a whole head of garlic, 3 to 4 bay leaves, 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon powder, and a tablespoon of salt. And we're going to bring this to a simmer while we prepare the pork. So the foundation of a good pozole is pork. Some people prefer to use chicken, but we enjoy the flavor more with the traditional pork base. We are using around 4 to 5 pounds of a tender pork shoulder roast. This is a boneless roast, but you can also use a bone-in roast to add more flavor to the broth. Either way is delicious. We begin the cooking process by cutting the pork roast into bite-sized chunks, roughly 1-inch square. You should try to be consistent with the size, as this will ensure that the pork cooks evenly. And as you're cutting the pork up, you should also lightly salt the cubes and then let the pork rest for 5 to 10 minutes before adding it to the broth. Now we'll add the pork to the broth and continue to simmer. We'll let it cook for 1 hour or until the meat is tender. And as the meat simmers, we'll be making the red salsa that gives pozole its distinctive color and flavor. But first, a quick coffee break. We're using around 20 dried guajillo peppers, which have a mild smoky flavor, as well as 2 dried pasilla peppers. These peppers have very little heat, so don't worry about the pozole being too spicy to eat. To prepare them, we're cutting off the stems and removing the seeds. Once that is complete, we'll rinse and clean them quickly in a colander. And after the peppers are rinsed, we need to rehydrate them. We'll simply place the peppers in a pot full of hot water and allow them to simmer until tender. Just a couple of minutes. Don't overcook them or they're going to taste bitter. Once they've softened up, remove the pan from direct heat and let them begin to cool down, and then we can check the pork to see if it's ready. So from the look and from the taste, the pork is ready for the next step in the process. We need to remove the onion, the garlic, and the bay leaves from the pot at this point. and these can be discarded once they're removed. Now the next ingredient that we'll add to the pozole is hominy. We used Juanita's in the 105-ounce can for the full recipe, but you can add more if you prefer. Simply drain the hominy in a colander, give it a quick rinse, and then add directly into the stew pot. The combination of the pork and hominy will continue to simmer while we finish preparing the red salsa. For the adobo, we'll need a few additional ingredients to complement the flavor of the chilies. First, into the blender we added 1/4 of an onion and 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. We'll add in the chilies to the blender, and to that we're going to add 2 cloves, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon each of cumin and oregano, and 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Combine these ingredients along with the peppers and 2 to 3 cups of the liquid into your blender and set it on high for 3 to 4 minutes. So once the mixture is blended smooth, we're going to pass it through a strainer to remove any small bits of skin or seed and leave a smooth adobo salsa. So our salsa is ready, and now we need to just add it to the pozole. We used about half of the mixture we made to give the pozole that distinctive red color and flavor. And now this only needs another 10 or 15 minutes to simmer, allowing all of the flavors to combine into that delicious stew. And the leftover adobo salsa will be used later as a foundation for our pork tamales, which we will share in an upcoming video. And now it's time to give it a taste. Doesn't that look delicious? You can add diced onion, lime juice, and a sprinkle of oregano for that last touch of flavor. Pozole also tastes great if you add chopped cabbage. Unfortunately, we didn't have any for this video. Enjoy it with tostadas or with a piece of bread. Man, this tasted great. So that is our recipe for a classic pozole. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.